it was a day steeped in shadows, where the first light of dawn brought forth nothing but the weight of despair upon my heart. A heavy fatigue enveloped me, as though the embrace of sleep had slipped through my fingers completely. The weight of exhaustion has settled heavily upon me, making every movement feel like a slow, deliberate struggle over the last few days. My soul felt heavy, as though the universe mourned alongside me. Yet this day revealed itself in a way that felt profoundly different from all that had come before. Today, the unease has quietly slipped away. Today has revealed a change so deep, rising to new and uncharted realms. Every inch of my being throbbed with a deep, haunting pain. Oh, how my back aches, as if it carries the heavy secrets of the night, and my feet too cry out, as though they have wandered through the shadows of countless desires. My gaze was shrouded from the burdens I carried as I labored and toiled through the shadows of the past. It has been an unending storm of toil. To purify the sanctuary, to mix the elixirs, to embark on clandestine missions, and to shoulder the burden of unending obligations. In the shadows of my dwelling, I wandered through the hours, drawn into a dance of distraction, never allowing myself the tender solace of pause. Yet on this day, it felt as if my fragile existence had finally met its limit, whispering in exhausted murmurs that it could bear no further burden. In hushed tones, I implore you to listen closely and contemplate joining our intimate circle. A gentle nod of approval on our videos would be a cherished gesture. Every soft touch you grant us is a precious gift, igniting our desire to craft deeper stories that resonate with your heart. If you find delight in our modest gifts, we implore you to share your reflections and ask as many questions as you desire. In each hushed conversation, there exists a journey to create a connection, deeper, a union more intricately woven within our cherished circle. Stay with us. I implore you until the last moment of this unfolding story draws to a close. With a heart heavy with unspoken desires, I offer my deepest appreciation to you. My muscles throbbed with a deep lingering tension. The exhaustion seemed to beckon every part of my soul to linger and listen to its plea. Listen closely to the unspoken desires that my being yearns to reveal. The ache in my neck felt like a heavy weight, pressing down with relentless intensity. Every slight movement felt like an insurmountable task, heavy with unspoken tension. My limbs, heavy with a hidden weight, appeared to have surrendered their desire to partake in the rhythm of motion. This fatigue was a familiar companion to my tired spirit. Yet this moment carried an unmistakable shade. It was a depth of feeling that consumed everything. The familiar fatigue that once enveloped me has been replaced by a deeper feeling, a heavy presence that resides in the very core of my being. Yet, despite my sincere attempts to endure the fatigue, refused to relent. I endeavored to push through the pain and move forward. The fatigue lingered, refusing to depart. Yet it soon became clear that mere charm would not extricate me from this predicament, as I sank onto the couch, longing for a moment of peace to offer me some comfort. Yet in truth, the discomfort only deepened with each passing moment. It seems I must navigate this path with delicate care. Yet the thought of my own being sinking into the couch, paralyzed and unable to move, clawed at the depths of my spirit. Enveloping my soul in a profound and lingering discontent, I found it impossible to let go. All he craved was to uncover comfort within the turmoil of his aching soul. It is prudent to rekindle a sense of vitality. Yet in truth, the day seemed to stretch on an endless tapestry of unspoken desires and hidden truths. Yet despite my sincere efforts, my own body stubbornly refused to obey my desires. There were moments when fatigue would wrap around me like a soft, lingering embrace. Yet this was of a different nature. This affair delves into shadows unseen. Alas, it felt as if the weight of the entire week had quietly crept upon me, enveloping me in its heavy embrace all at once, engulfing me like a hidden tide, drawing me into its depths with an alluring force. Alas, I discovered no path to freedom. Upon the couch, I lingered, searching for a tender embrace, yet solace slipped through my fingers like a fleeting caress, Yet every attempt to heal was met with nothing but defiance. The unease hung in the air, a persistent throb or a subtle sting of anguish. The tension hung in the air, a palpable presence that refused to fade, an unyielding presence one I found impossible to ignore. With each delicate shift of my body, a new wave of torment surged through my spine, and it seemed as though the final truth lingered just out of reach. I reached out, yearning for comfort and release. To yearn for a flicker of comfort, yet nothing came to fruition. With every attempt to ease the escalating tension, it only seemed to deepen, wrapping around them like a heavy shroud. My body, in its defiance, refused to obey my desires. With a deep, simmering desire, I craved to indulge. In my quest for comfort and release, I yearned to lighten the weight of my tired spirit. Yet even as the deep yearning simmered within me, my body felt achingly exhausted and drained, so tormented as if a silent battle rages within my soul. The dwelling was enveloped in an eerie hush, broken only by the soft rhythm of my own breathing echoing through the emptiness. As I lingered in contemplation, a notion brushed against my consciousness. Perhaps I should yield to lean back and discover comfort in tender tranquility. Alas, on this day, my mind is burdened by the relentless turmoil. As I lingered in hushed reflection, caught between the allure of surrendering to the heavy pull of exhaustion and the temptation to push forward, I sensed the delicate approach of footsteps drawing closer. Ah, there stood Henry. Behold, I sensed the soft tread of a stepson drawing near. A soft caress of comfort enveloped me, for I recognized him as a constant presence, a figure in whom I could place my trust. He has always been the kind of spirit who could sense when something was off, a spirit cloaked in tenderness, with a heart that beats with profound devotion. From the moment of his creation, an unspoken connection blossomed between us, deep and undeniable in its essence. Henry, a figure of quiet reflection and deep respect, was always poised to offer his support to those who sought it. In the shadows of desperation, they moved with a quiet urgency, offering their touch to those ensnared in turmoil. His presence, a soft caress, eased the turmoil within me, wrapping me in a delicate embrace as the storm raged on. And I felt my heart swell with a deep appreciation for the connection we have nurtured through the unfolding moments of our shared journey. "Are you well?" he softly asked. His gaze lingered, a gentle exploration. His voice, rich with warmth, caressed the air. His eyes, unwavering, held me captive in their depths. Upon the couch, I lay feeling vulnerable and bare, as if the burdens of existence were crushing my tired spirit. His gaze, soft yet searching, appeared to delve into the quiet tension that hung in the air around me. It graced him with a delicate smile, while I struggled to mask the unease that simmered beneath the surface. As I labored with fervent passion, the intensity of his gaze revealed a knowing that lingered between us, a silent acknowledgement of unspoken truths. An ephemeral instant felt out of place. In truth, I found myself lost for words. I longed to conceal my vulnerabilities, to shield him from the burden of my sorrows. Yet the ache within me deepens, becoming an unbearable weight. And so I arrived at the quiet realization that I could no longer maintain the illusion that everything was fine. Indeed, I sensed that, if I chose to withhold my plea for assistance now, I would only suffer in quiet anguish. Finally, I let out a soft breath and admitted perhaps I could use a touch of help. Alas, a heavy burden weighs upon my spine. Would you be so gracious as to grant it your tender caress, even as I spoke? A flutter of unease gripped my heart. A shiver clutches the soul. Reaching out for help felt like navigating a delicate dance, especially when the issue held such profound significance. My aim was never to drape a veil of unease over him, nor to intrude upon the warmth of his hospitality. Yet Henry, my thoughtful and gentle stepson of 24 years, has always been the type to offer his assistance without a second thought. Deep within me, I felt he would bear no malice, yet a part of my essence lingered, caught in the delicate tension of vulnerability at the mere idea of voicing such a desire. With a tender smile, he offered reassurance, his expression melting into a warmth that spoke of deep comprehension. Softly, he offered his assistance, his words lingering in the air, heavy with unspoken tension. Indeed, I will offer my assistance, but let us pause to reflect on his preparedness. To assist me with an unspoken ease wrapped in a shroud of comfort, Henry, a being of tender heart and observant gaze, always revealed warmth and concern for those in his presence, a confidant unwavering in whom I can trust during moments of urgency, whether the concern be significant or trivial. His gentle attentiveness and deep consideration were merely a mirror of his true nature, and I had always cherished that aspect of him as he gently began to massage my tired shoulders with a softness that hinted at something deeper. In truth, I found myself enveloped in a haze of doubt, for I had never dared to crave such a gift from him before, and the essence of the encounter lingered in an alluring obscurity. In that pivotal moment, when his fingers brushed against my tired shoulders, a soothing tide enveloped me, as the weight of unease slipped away like the last remnants of night. The weight on my shoulders began to lift as he worked his magic in slow, deliberate motions across my back, and a quiet sigh of gratitude slipped from my lips. His hand pressed firmly, yet with a delicate touch that spoke of hidden desires. Each subtle movement seemed to unravel the ties that bound my very essence. Bit by bit, I allowed my eyes to flutter shut for just a moment, surrendering to the soft caress of his hands, lost in the warmth of the moment. As I struggled with the persistent ache in my back, the soft rhythm of his fingers became a soothing remedy, alleviating the tension and anguish that had deeply embedded itself within me. In this delicate instant, nothing else occupied my thoughts. The only thought that lingered in my mind was the intoxicating thrill of freedom coursing through the depths of my being. In that moment of unguarded tranquility, I allowed my heart to bask in the warmth that enveloped me, overwhelmed with appreciation for the gentle solace that Henry provided. It felt like a soothing escape from the weighty struggles of the day, a moment of solace after all I had faced. Henry's tender touch enveloped her, offering a sweet escape, a moment where the heart found both comfort and a lingering ache beneath the surface. His touch, so tender, carried no hint of unease's burden. It was a subtle gesture, cloaked in shadows and unspoken desires. One feels a heart brimming with appreciation that any spirit would extend their hand to another they cherish deeply. In truth, my heart overflowed with a deep appreciation for his presence, for the gift of his support. When I found myself in desperate straits, in that fleeting moment, an understanding washed over me. How profoundly fortunate I am to have a stepson with such a tender heart. Hush, a gentle spirit who with a soft touch sought to know my heart, lingering in the moments that revealed my truth. It was not a grand spectacle of love, nor an extravagant offering, but a quiet, tender act of understanding. Still, it held the deepest significance for me. As Henry's tender touch glided over my tired back, each movement deliberate and unhurried, I found myself sinking further into a blissful state of surrender. His hands moved with a tender elegance, easing the tension and tightness that had settled deep within my tired body over the course of the day. Finally, after countless hours of longing, a tender liberation enveloped my restless spirit, a silent exhale heavy with unspoken truths. The familiar ache, the soft and soothing atmosphere of the room, intertwined with the slow and tender touch of his hand, created a delicate fabric of peace. Unbeknownst to me, a deep longing began to awaken in my heart. Then, as his hands explored the curves of my back, he uttered a word that captured my full attention. "Thou hast ensnared me in a moment of surprise. Thy beauty is undeniably captivating," he murmured, his voice soft and sincere. His face, illuminated by a soft glow, turned towards me, graced with a gentle smile that hinted at deeper emotions. It was a statement wrapped in shadows, clear yet laden with unspoken implications. It was merely a soft murmur spoken with an air of sincerity stripped of any hint of wrongdoing or hidden desire. Yet it caught me off guard, for I had not foreseen such a twist in our tale. In truth, within this delicate and unembellished instance of affection, in a hushed moment, doubt crept into my mind, leaving me to ponder the most delicate way to respond. My senses were ensnared in a haze of uncertainty, for I could not tell if his whispers had truly found their way to me. In a fleeting moment of awareness, I realized that uncertainty had no rightful claim here. He revealed a tenderness that felt achingly genuine, offering you a soft compliment woven with sincerity and a spirit of closeness. There existed no hidden motives nor concealed plans, only a tender expression that reflected the true nature of honesty. With a soft smile, I tried to conceal the heated wave of shame that surged within me. Thankfulness spilled from my lips, a hint of something deeper woven into my tone. With a heart both hesitant and sincere, I offer my profound appreciation for his boundless generosity. In the way he shared his thoughts, I felt their weight heavy with truth and contemplation, which offered a subtle lift to my weary heart on a day that had been particularly challenging. Sometimes it is the quietest of actions, like a soft whisper, that can shift the entire atmosphere of a moment, unleashing a deep and lingering warmth. Though a mere trifle, it stirred within me a sense of being valued and adored in a way I had not anticipated. A soft nudge that even the most fleeting gestures of kindness can etch a lasting impression upon the soul, especially in moments of exhaustion when you feel drained and a touch desolate. Henry moved with a careful grace, never straying into the shadows of temptation or crossing the delicate lines drawn around him. He offered a single word of kindness, genuine and heartfelt, and in that brief instant, it stirred a transformation deep and resonant. In that moment, a simple compliment free from ulterior motives holds the power to lift the spirit and make the weight of existence feel just a bit lighter to bear. It felt like a soft caress, a quiet assurance that I was not swallowed by darkness, for there was a presence that found value in sharing profound truths. As the massage finally came to an end, a profound sense of relief enveloped me, lingering in the air like a soft sigh. The weight that once burdened my spine has dissipated, and the piercing, unyielding agony I battled is now merely a shadow no longer haunting my moments. As I slowly unfurled my tired body, releasing the last vestiges of strain, I offered Henry a smile that was both tender and inviting, a silent promise of what lay beneath the surface. With a soft sigh, I conveyed my appreciation, my words a tender caress, reflecting the deep warmth that stirred within my soul. He offered me a gentle smile, his eyes warm and filled with an unspoken depth. "No trouble." He murmured, his voice a soft caress, yet within that casual hiss lingered a warmth that spoke volumes in the briefest of exchanges. Though it appeared insignificant, it carried the burden of a subtle change between us. Nothing unusual or unsettling had occurred. Yet behold, the delicate threads of our conversation have transformed, reshaping the core of our connection. Once our connection was merely a faint whisper, but now it feels as though a profound intimacy has blossomed, a quiet understanding entwined within our souls. The connection we share, though subtle and unassuming, feels profoundly genuine, as if we understand each other in ways that have yet to be explored. In the quiet of our past, words were rarely exchanged, as if we both cherished that ephemeral moment of unspoken understanding. That singular act of kindness spun a connection, deepening our companionship, making it both stronger and more fluid. Truly, I sense that the source of my profound feelings resides in the tender attention and consideration that Henry offered me, surpassing all that I had anticipated. He felt no compulsion to offer his assistance, especially not with such tender consideration, and truly he was under no obligation to grant me such a tender touch. Yet he offered it freely, without hesitation or desire for anything in return, and that subtle yet profound gesture stirred within me a deep sense of gratitude. It was not just the act itself, but a tender echo of the journey we had taken together, a reflection of the deep connection and the rich experiences we had shared in each other's presence. To be called to the sacred duty of parenthood, while it brings profound delight, is not a journey free from shadows and complexities. Along the journey of existence, countless challenges emerge, times when reverence fades, when unease and doubt intertwine, and moments when the ties of love may appear tense or laden with unspoken tension. In that fleeting moment, when Henry's thoughts wrapped around me, I began to understand the profound admiration I held for him. Yet more significantly, it became clear that he harbored a deep reverence for me in the depths of his soul. Amidst the shadows of our journey, we found ourselves entwined, uncovering a delicate balance where our hearts pulsed in sync and our souls whispered to one another in understanding. In the shadows of our connection, I felt a profound appreciation, not just for the support he offered, but for the delicate trust and warmth that had quietly unfurled between us as time wove its intricate tapestry. As the days drifted by, a deep gratitude blossomed within me, for the way things transpired was nothing short of enchanting. Everything seemed to settle into a comfortable rhythm as Henry and I continued to exchange the ordinary yet treasured moments that intricately crafted the fabric of our lives. In hushed tones, we shared our tales, weaving through the tender moments and hidden struggles of our lives, finding solace in the quiet intimacy of our shared experiences. In our stolen moments, we reveled in the dancing shadows on the screen, sharing whispers of the day's events, whether from labor learning or the endless expanse of life outside. In those moments, we reveled in the quiet, enveloped in the heat of our closeness, savoring the unspoken connection that bound us together. It appeared as though in serene companionship, nothing had shifted, yet everything was irrevocably changed. Our affection for one another stood firm, and the bond we had crafted felt as unbreakable as the mightiest metal. Yet behold, on a sultry afternoon, an unexpected encounter began to unravel. Never did I anticipate such a twist of destiny, not even for a moment. It was merely a day, unremarkable and familiar, like so many that had come and gone. Indeed, I was. As I wandered through the well-trodden routes of my daily grind, I pondered how everything felt as ordinary as the soft glow of dawn. From the shadows of exhaustion, a delicate transformation emerged from nothingness. As the fading glow of the day enveloped me, I realized that the truth was far more complex than I had ever imagined. In the kitchen, I toiled over the evening meal, the weight of the day lingering heavily in the air. The exhaustion of the day clings to my weary feet, aching from the endless hours of standing, while my thoughts weigh heavily, overwhelmed by a constant stream of obligations that surge like an unyielding current. As I delicately cut through the lush greens, my mind wandered, caught in a web of unspoken desires. Yet in truth, all I longed for was a quiet corner to linger, to savor a brief escape from the world. As I labored in the warm confines of the kitchen, I caught sight of Henry stepping through the doorway. With just one fleeting look at my tired face, he quickly sensed the profound weariness that lay within me. He uttered no sound, yet in his eyes I sensed a deep understanding of my fatigue. In the hush that lingered, he finally broke the stillness. His voice, soft and caressing, carried an undercurrent of urgency. "Let me cradle your tired body again," he murmured, his voice laced with a softness that reflected his profound care. "Thou hast labored with such passion all week, and I can sense the exhaustion that lingers around thee." In that hushed moment, a feeling awakened inside me, a delicate tremor, followed by another, as if the atmosphere itself had altered its path. This moment acted as a soft invitation, unveiling that our connection has moved beyond the ordinary, exploring a depth of closeness that is both tender and complex. In a hushed moment, I felt the weight of his unexpected offer, leaving me both captivated and unsettled. It was a tender gesture, a silent acknowledgement of the heavy weight that lingered within me. His tender understanding of the shadows that lingered within me offered a quiet solace to my restless soul. And in that brief instant, I was reminded that loneliness was not my only confidant, for I had not foreseen his gentle touch reaching out to me again in support. And there he lingered, extending himself with a heart both earnest and gentle. The idea of discovering comfort, if only for an ephemeral instant, resonates with a tantalizing charm. In that moment, heavy with unspoken emotions, the depth of his consideration enveloped me, and I was carried away by a wave of gratitude for his gentle touch. A smile danced upon my lips, for I was caught off guard by the way his words softly caressed my ears. It unfolded differently than I had imagined, yet his words held a warmth, a softness that enveloped my heart, making me feel treasured in a way I had not anticipated. The fatigue that had quietly crept upon me during the day now felt heavier as he unveiled it in the dim light of our shared moment. My body succumbed to the relentless cravings of the day, every fiber within me sighing in quiet despair. Forest. The idea of having a kindred soul to offer support someone who truly understood my struggles brought a profound comfort in that moment, as they recognized my yearning for help. And so he offered it with an abundance of charm, yet deep within me, a flicker of hesitation ignited a soft murmur of uncertainty about whether I should accept this offering. Yet another fragment of my being pondered that perhaps it was exactly what I desired. "Are you truly sure?" In a hushed murmur, I asked, my voice quivering with an intense desire for understanding. In truth, I longed to uncover if he truly felt drawn, deeply ready to embrace a part of my soul. As I contemplated the allure of his generous proposal on this tired afternoon, I was drawn in by the sincerity of his gaze, a soft caress that made the idea of surrendering to rest feel undeniably right. Yet a quiet part of my being lingered in uncertainty, questioning if I was a weight too heavy to carry. I aimed to make certain that he as well found comfort in the situation, not just from the burden of obligation pressing down on him. With a knowing glance, his expression held a warmth that masked deeper intentions. In his gaze there was an undeniable certainty, and I realized that his propositions stemmed from something deeper than simple courtesy. He harbored a genuine yearning to assist. It was unmistakably clear. He was consumed by a quiet longing, a delicate thrill as he prepared to offer his support. In the dim light of the kitchen, we moved closer, drawn together by an unspoken understanding, ready to immerse ourselves in the tasks that lay ahead. We sliced the vegetables with a delicate touch, stirred the pot slowly, and with an unhurried grace crafted the meal as if we had shared this intimate dance for countless moments. The rhythm of our shared pursuit felt perfectly aligned, and as we teased and talked, the atmosphere became increasingly charged and inviting. The enticing scent of the meal wrapped around us, creating a warm atmosphere that deepened the connection we shared as we approached the end of our cooking journey, to summon nourishment amidst the flickering shadows. In truth, I savored the intoxicating thrill of our shared endeavor, weaving something profoundly exquisite together. In the quiet of our gathering, a soft satisfaction emerged, for as we set the table, it felt not just like the result of our efforts, but a reflection of the tenderness we had shared between us. Once everything was arranged, we crafted a plan to unwind, savoring the tender closeness we shared. He seemed utterly captivated by the subject, his passion palpable as he spoke. With a heart heavy, yet exhilarated, I smiled, not just for the banquet we had prepared, but for the delicate moments we had woven together in our closeness. In the soft shadows of our connection, a quiet thrill unfurled, and I sensed that he as well yearned with a fervent heart for the night that awaited us. Henry and I wove a delicate tapestry of trust, a sanctuary where I could unearth hidden desires and navigate the shadows of our entwined fates. We lowered the lights, allowing the room to be wrapped in a soft, intimate glow as we lit a few candles, their flames flickering gently and casting a warm, inviting light around us. The soft flicker of candlelight wrapped the room in a tender embrace, while sweet melodies floated gently, creating a perfect atmosphere for quiet moments of reflection. Hush. The weight of the day began to dissolve, my body softening as the atmosphere around me transformed into something more intimate. Henry, with a gentle touch, offered his hand, guiding me deeper into the shadows of my desires. With a gentle yet assured hand, he led me to a chair of comfort, his touch infused with a warmth that enveloped me, making me feel at ease in his presence. He positioned me with a careful grace, and then with a calm confidence began to work on my shoulders. His hands moved with precision, each touch intentional, as he found the right balance of pressure on the tight spots where stress had settled, especially on the tense knots that had formed over the long day. His touch, a delicate dance of warmth and determination, unraveled the tension that clung to me like a second skin, as if he were skillfully lifting the heavy veil of my burdens. His fingers traced the contours of my neck and shoulders, soothing the weariness etched into my very being. The tension softly ebbed like a quiet stream, meandering through the stillness. It was not just my body that awakened. It felt as if the heavy chains of doubt and the storm of restless thoughts that had haunted my mind were finally released, drifting away into the void. As Henry's hands explored further, I found myself sinking deeper into the chair's embrace, my body loosening, while my mind quieted with each tender caress. In that moment, a deep stillness wrapped around my soul, a rare feeling amidst the chaos that life had created within the room and the very atmosphere that enveloped me. Henry's soft caress enveloped me, crafting an atmosphere thick with unspoken desires in the dimly lit room. In reality, I had been blind to the intensity of my desire, for finally, after what felt like a lifetime, I could inhale freely unshackled from the heavy chains of worry that had long suffocated my spirit. Just as I began to yield completely to the soft rhythm of his expert touch, Henry suddenly ceased his tender actions. His hands lingered softly on my back, and the sudden stillness that filled the room captured my attention. His voice broke the serene silence, gentle, yet laced with hesitation, as if he were meticulously choosing each word with profound consideration. "Pray, do you desire that I continue?" he softly asked. With a lingering breath, he asked softly, his voice laced with a careful cadence before adding, "I could extend my assistance in another affair, one that might grant you even deeper comfort." His murmurs hung in the air, and I shifted ever so slightly in my seat. In that brief exchange of glances, a shiver of doubt gripped my voice, leaving me speechless as the right words danced just out of reach. Once more he spoke, his voice a gentle murmur, like a story winding down to a bittersweet conclusion. "Repulsive to hold close." A soft declaration he murmured, and the words enveloped me with an unexpected intensity. My heart fluttered, caught off guard by his boldness. In that moment, everything shifted, and I found myself caught in a web of unspoken emotions, unsure of how to traverse the delicate space that had formed between us. The hush lingered laden with unspoken thoughts, and I felt the atmosphere between us grow dense with an undeniable charge. Hush. Henry's words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken truths, their weight pressing down on me in a way that felt both revealing and unsettling. It was not just the words that lingered on his lips, but the way he spoke them, gently wrapped in a mix of confidence and uncertainty, that made me stop and reflect as I sat there contemplating his offer. As dawn broke gently over the horizon, the truth began to reveal itself. In the moments we spent together, a connection formed deeper and more intricate than I had ever imagined. Our bond has deepened into something more profound, nurtured by the delicate threads of trust and unspoken desires. In his voice, a raw honesty lingered, and in that brief moment he felt the profound chasm we had crossed within the intricate weave of our connection. What began as a fleeting encounter has now blossomed into something far more profound, and the honesty of this moment fills my heart with appreciation for the comfort we have found in each other, even though it was not the path I had envisioned when we first set out on this journey. There was a connection between us, deep and profound, one that resonated with an undeniable authenticity. The connection we formed through our shared moments and delicate openness brought me to realize that we had reached a point where this encounter, this gift, went beyond the surface. It held a deep understanding that had quietly flourished between us, even as neither of us fully grasped its significance. In this fleeting instant, the honesty and depth of his words have unveiled the delicate comfort we share in each other's company. We wandered through uncharted territories, but this moment held a unique quality, an intimacy that left me exposed, yet strangely cocooned in a comforting embrace, as if I had stepped into the unfamiliar and found peace within it. A flood of emotions coursed through me, consuming my very essence. Behold my senses stir, with a tantalizing curiosity, a hint of reluctance, yet beneath the surface a profound truth simmers, igniting a raw, unspoken desire that resonates within. A seductive pull lingered in the air, an irresistible temptation that drew me closer, a desire I had tried to resist, but now found impossible to ignore. In a moment of quiet reflection, I found myself questioning whether this path was right, if surrendering to the now would alter everything between us in ways we could never hope to change. Yet as my gaze delved into his eyes, that uncertainty melted away, and a deep yearning ignited within me, a fire I could not extinguish. My body, still trembling from the day's lingering tension, seemed to respond before my mind could fully comprehend the events that were unfolding. Ah, a heat unfurled within me, a longing that had slumbered in silence, now awakened with a force that rendered me gasping. In a moment's whisper, I became captivated, unraveling under the weight of the moment and the intensity of the tableau that lay before me. My breath caught in my throat. As the revelation pierced my soul, the desire that had been smoldering between us could no longer be ignored, pushed away or cloaked in darkness. It was an undeniable truth. Here it lay, enveloping everything in its soft, lingering touch. Though doubt lingers like a shadow, a subtle, profound understanding stirs within me, unwavering and true. What I longed for, this I longed for. In this delicate instant, my heart ached for him. Thus, the delicate vulnerability that coursed through my very being only intensified the heat of my desire, making it sharper and utterly overwhelming. With a breath drawn deep, I sought to gather the scattered pieces of my restless thoughts, and in a blend of yearning desire, a tender surrender, and a curious twist of destiny, I whispered I. A sly and intimate smile danced upon his lips. In that hushed instant, I caught a glimpse of something shimmering, teasing the atmosphere around us. His gaze held a tantalizing spark, an intoxicating thrill, a silent vow of the pleasures that awaited, stirring my heart into a wild, unrestrained rhythm. His smile held a depth that suggested hidden truths, a fleeting joy tinged with something darker beneath the surface. In the hush of the moment, a smile lingered, hinting at a connection that went beyond words, a silent vow of pleasures yet to come, and an unspoken understanding that this moment, charged with significance, heralded a fresh chapter for us both. He moved with intention, and in that movement his presence enveloped the space between us, thickening the air in a way that made everything feel more intense, more charged. "I stand ready for you today," he said, his voice a soothing caress, rich with an undeniable warmth that wrapped around my heart and sent shivers of anticipation through me. His voice carried a soothing confidence, a promise wrapped in layers of complexity, igniting a shiver of anticipation deep within me. The way he spoke with an unwavering confidence and piercing clarity revealed so much beneath the surface. In the stillness of our shared moments, his words lingered like a soft caress, weaving through the air with a weight that felt both thrilling and dangerous. They were not just sounds, but promises that ignited a longing within me, stirring emotions I had not anticipated, drawing me closer to a truth that felt both intoxicating and treacherous. The sincerity of his words enveloped me, each syllable heavy with unspoken desires, leaving me suspended in a delicate balance of yearning and disbelief. As he stood there, his gaze softened, and the smile that graced his lips lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. Yet now it pulsed with a fervor that mirrored the depth of his whispered confessions. "Hush." The smile was more than just a gesture of kindness. It reflected everything left unsaid, everything that had happened, and all that hung in the air between us in that brief moment. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted, a hidden curtain pulled back, allowing the noise and distractions of the world to dissolve into a faint echo, leaving only the two of us in a suspended reality, all that surrounds us cloaked in hushed tones. He advanced with a deliberate grace. In that world, nothing held significance but him, his murmurs, his very being, and the journey he embarked upon. They made me feel seen, understood, and above all wanted. The truth nestled in my heart like a weight I was more than willing to carry. To my utter disbelief, he approached me with a quiet intensity. He drew near with a softness and intensity that felt almost otherworldly, igniting a sensation within me that was entirely new, as if I had never known such an experience before. In his soft touch, there was a delicate elegance, but hidden beneath was a deep truth that transcended the surface of skin. It felt as if every gesture he made, every step he took, was imbued with a deeper significance, for he did not simply touch me. He created a link that transcended the moment, a connection that resonated within me. Something has changed between us. A subtle change has taken place. Oh, a soft murmur of desire dances in the shadows. Softly spoken yet unmistakably vivid. The atmosphere around us thickened heavy with unspoken understanding, a quiet recognition that this moment was unlike any we had ever experienced before. It was an unspoken closeness, a dance of desire that lingered in the air. Hush. It was a soft unveiling of our souls, a delicate exposure that drew us closer, free from the chains of doubt. Every moment we shared felt increasingly significant, as if we were delicately peeling back layers, exposing the raw and unembellished essence of our connection. Time lingered, allowing for a deliberate unfolding of desires, unhurried and charged with unspoken tension. In that fleeting instant, it felt as if the world around us paused, leaving us entwined in a connection that unfurled before our gaze. With each soft touch and every whispered word, we found ourselves not just exploring the physical, but plunging into the depths of our very beings, a voyage both exhilarating and unwavering. It was the unspoken allure between us that pulled us together. It was an unveiling, a shedding of pretense in the truest essence of the word. And yet, within that very revelation, lay a deep solace, an unwavering bond that made everything feel as it was meant to unfold. In that hushed moment, we transcended the ordinary, entwined in a dance of unspoken desires. We were two souls entwined in a way that was unmistakably deep and intensely personal. We were two souls entwined, bound by the delicate threads of destiny. In the quiet moments, a connection unfurled, rich with unspoken truths, and a tension that lingered in the air, hinting at complexities beneath the surface. It was a lingering flame of yearning, one that promised to smolder long into the night. In time, it transformed into something more significant, a revelation that lingered just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. In the quiet moments of unspoken connection, where the air thickens with unacknowledged desire, my heart raced, caught in the delicate dance of passion and treachery. In a delicate turn of events, it offered a soothing balm to the most vulnerable corners of my being, as if it were weaving together the chaos and calm that resided within me. As we indulged in this shared moment, everything around us seemed to shift in the most enchanting way. In the stillness, a deep serenity enveloped us, as if the night itself had drawn us into its tender embrace. Everything seemed to tremble and transform, wrapped in a soft, lingering hold. Time lingered heavy with unspoken desires, and with it the desire to rush, melted away completely. Time lingered, unhurried and untroubled. No chase to capture ephemeral instances that slip through our fingers. Every stolen moment we shared felt rich and alive, as if it were the only gem in our lives. Every gentle caress, every momentary gaze felt both intentional and instinctive, as if we had mastered the delicate dance of connection, our relationship. A subtle thread entwined in the rhythm of existence itself. We became something more, no longer just two beings, but rather a delicate dance of connection, resonating in quiet understanding. We were two souls, intricately woven together, lost in a delicate dance of connection, as if the world outside had faded into oblivion. It felt as if we had unlocked a hidden realm, a space where the delicate soul could wander freely, where trust could flourish untouched by the looming shadows of revelation or judgment. Every movement between us carried a depth of significance, as if we were not just rediscovering one another, but instead revealing a connection deep and unwavering. Revelation, something sacred and profound that remained elusive to both of us. Something sacred and profound, understood with a lingering intensity. Until that fateful hour, the intensity of it swelled like a storm against the coastline, a power both consuming and irresistibly captivating, beckoning me closer with every pulse of my heart's rhythm. Yet amidst the storm of passionate emotions, there emerged a gentle solace, as if I had discovered a refuge I had not realized I craved. Every passing moment felt like an unbroken thread, where each shared breath intertwined with the next, in a delicate, intoxicating rhythm. In that moment, I was wrapped in a soft cocoon, where worries and hesitations faded into the background, carried off by a tender whisper, leaving only a profound sense of peace behind. There was only a soft murmur of understanding, a quiet surrender to the moment, devoid of questions or doubts about where this journey might take us. It felt utterly appropriate. It felt inescapable, a truth wrapped in shadows. A deep and tantalizing truth begins to emerge. In that sacred moment, as the world around us blurred into nothingness, I surrendered completely to the experience, placing my trust in him without a second thought. There was an undeniable conviction that this moment was genuine and that we stood exactly where destiny had woven our paths together. As we moved closer, wrapped in the soft rhythm of our connection, it became clear that our bond went beyond simple closeness. It was a moment of deep understanding, a revelation that lingered in the air between us. In the stillness of our shared moments, a truth unfolded, weaving a bond that felt both sacred and intoxicating, leaving me gasping for air, yet satiated in ways I had never known. Not a hint of regret lingered in the air. Nay, all that has ever held me back slithers in a haunting whisper of uncertainty lurking at the edges of my thoughts. In that hushed instant, all turmoil faded away, leaving only the delicate tension between us. Hush! It felt as though everything that had once ensnared me, every fear, every question, and all the uncertainties that lurked in the dark had dissolved into nothingness. The weight of the past, the oppressive chains of unfulfilled longings, and the relentless uncertainties that once haunted my mind all vanished into nothingness, dissipating into the air as if they had never existed. In that suspended breath, time unraveled around us, leaving only the two of us entwined in the hush of our shared existence, lost in the depths of the now. In that sacred space, we found ourselves completely unbound, free from the burdens of scrutiny, untouched by the past, and able to immerse ourselves in the delicate and profound connection we had crafted together in that cherished sanctuary. In every shadow scrutiny lingered, except within the hallowed sanctuary of our entwined souls. There lingered no yearning for validation from the outside world, nor a craving for hidden truths to be brought to light. In the shadows of our connection, we navigate the delicate dance of desire, where trust and temptation intertwine, revealing the depths of our shared experience. The soft murmur enveloping us held a depth of significance that transcended the limitations of spoken language. Every stolen glance, every lingering touch, every subtle gesture spoke volumes of unspoken desires and hidden truths. A connection that went beyond words emerged in the essence of it all, in the deep and meaningful exchange we shared, completely absorbed in this moment together, free from any hesitations or interruptions. This connection went beyond physical boundaries. It was a realm of hushed revelations, a truth that lingered in the shadows, far beyond the ordinary bounds of life. With each passing heartbeat, an exquisite connection began to reveal itself. As we unraveled the intricate layers of our relationship, We uncovered hidden facets within ourselves and one another, as if the essence of our connection was stretching and transforming right before us in that fleeting instant. The elation that swelled within me was not solely a product of the physical connection we had crafted, but stemmed from a deeper, more intricate understanding that we had both stepped into this space with complete openness and without a hint of hesitation. There lingered a tantalizing uncertainty about the fate that awaited them. Indeed, it is a fragile connection that allowed us to embrace the moment, savoring its delicate allure. What we shared was a connection that went beyond the ordinary, a delicate intertwining of souls. A hushed melody lingered between our spirits, a delicate fusion of desire and tenderness that enveloped the air with an almost palpable tension. It was a connection that unfolded quietly, leaving us both in a haze of tantalizing curiosity, not in anxious concern, but in the most enchanting and fulfilling way imaginable. This gathering transcended mere physicality, weaving together souls in a delicate dance of connection. A connection so profound, it has stirred within me an enduring feeling of completeness. In the quiet aftermath, as we lay exposed and vulnerable, a deep and unwavering satisfaction wraps around me, confirming that what we have experienced was not just meaningful but undeniably remarkable. As my gaze delved into his eyes, I realized that in that brief moment, we had both uncovered precisely what our souls craved from one another. Neither more nor less, I solemnly affirm. In the shadows we linger entwined in a dance of desire, where trust teeters on the edge of revelation. We offer our deepest thanks for your unwavering presence until the very end. As we draw to a close, I implore you, if you have not yet committed, to gently embrace the button of subscription, for your support ignites a warmth within. What seems like a mere gesture carries profound weight, compelling us to continue pouring our hearts into the creation of our work with an intense fervor. If it pleases you, grant me a sign of your affection, should it have brought you delight. The moments we shared today, like every meeting before, nurture our connection and allow us to continue weaving our story together, filled with significance. My deepest appreciation I offer for your presence in this cherished gathering.